Welcome to The Explainer. You know, B2B social media can sometimes feel like you're just shouting into the void. So today, we're going to cut through all that noise and give you a clear, actionable strategy for 2025.
Okay, look at this number, 5.24 billion. That's how many people are expected to be active on social media worldwide in 2025. That is just a massive, can't ignore it audience for any business out there. But here's the thing, in that giant sea of noise, how do you actually get your B2B brand heard? Because that's the real puzzle, right? It's not about just being there, it's about really connecting with the right people, the decision makers who can actually move the needle for your business. So that's what we're going to do today. We're laying out a clear roadmap. We'll kick things off by looking at the problems everyone's facing. Then we'll build a solid, future-proof strategy, and we'll wrap up by looking at what's just around the corner. All right, let's get into it. Before we can build a winning game plan, we have to be honest about the challenges, the real hurdles B2B marketers are up against right now.
Yeah, you've got everything from crazy algorithm changes that just tank your reach overnight to just so much content out there. People are getting tired, and it's not just a feeling. Get this, a whopping 93% of marketers say the competition on social media has seriously heated up. So yeah, everyone's feeling the squeeze.
And if you need more proof, look at this, 15%. That's the average drop in organic reach on a platform like Facebook, all thanks to those algorithm shifts. It's basically a giant flashing sign that says the old way of doing things, just posting and praying, is completely over.
Okay, so what's the takeaway? It's that we have to shift from just randomly posting stuff to having a real, deliberate strategy. A plan where every single thing you post has a purpose. You know, a killer social media presence doesn't just happen by accident. It's built on these 4 core steps, and they're all connected, right? Each one builds on the last, creating this one powerful, unified strategy. And this is where B2B is really different from, say, selling t-shirts online. B2C is often about that quick, impulse buy. But for B2B, it's a marathon, not a sprint. The real goals are about generating super qualified leads and building up trust and credibility over a much longer sales cycle.
And this is non-negotiable. You have to know exactly who you're talking to. What's their job title? What are the problems that literally keep them up at night? And just as important, where do they hang out online? Once you know that, you can craft a message that actually hits home.
All right, so you know your goals, you know your audience. What's next? Well, this is where the strategy starts to feel real. It's all about picking the right platforms and figuring out what the heck to actually post.
And take a look here, because it's super clear that not all social media is the same for B2B. LinkedIn, that's the undisputed champ for reaching C-suite folks with deep dive articles. But then you have YouTube, which is perfect for showing, not just telling, especially for prospects who are already doing their homework. Every platform has its own job to do in your overall plan.
Now let's talk content. These 3 right here, these are your workhorses. White papers are how you flex your expertise. Case studies are how you build trust by saying, look, we've actually done this before. And infographics, they're perfect for grabbing attention and making complicated stuff super easy to share. You really need these to build that credibility with a professional crowd. And this quote just nails it. Sharing what you know, your unique take on the industry, that isn't just content. It's a strategic weapon. It's how you actually influence those huge buying decisions by proving you're the ones who know what you're talking about.
Okay, but a great strategy is kind of useless if you can't prove it's working, right? So let's get into the nitty-gritty of tracking success and using that data to show what you're doing is actually making a difference. First things first, you got to forget about the vanity metrics. I'm talking about follower counts. Who cares? In B2B, what really matters are the numbers that tie directly back to the business. Things like your lead conversion rate, how much each lead is costing you, and, yeah, the holy grail, customer lifetime value. And the whole point of this is to stop guessing and start knowing. You use tools like the built-in platform analytics, Google Analytics, whatever you've got, to see what's actually driving leads and what's a waste of time. Then, you just do more of what works. Simple as that. All right, so we've built our foundation. Now for the fun part. Let's look ahead and talk about the really cool trends that are going to shape B2B social media next year.
Yeah, AI isn't just some shiny new toy anymore. It's becoming essential. We're seeing a massive 83% of marketers using it for content, and 76% say it actually makes them more confident they can prove their ROI. It's basically becoming a strategic sidekick for everything from writing posts to spotting the next big trend.
And check this out. The whole creator thing is growing up and getting a real job in B2B. We're seeing this big shift away from paying celebrities with millions of followers. Instead, the focus is on these brandfluencers, actual industry experts who have real credibility. They bring authenticity, not just eyeballs.
This is so interesting. We're seeing these tight-knit online communities starting to break out into the real world. Brands are using their digital channels to set up these exclusive in-person meetups. And that creates a connection that's way deeper and more genuine than you could ever get through a screen.
And a few more to keep on your radar. Video is still an absolute beast, both short little clips and long in-depth stuff. Social selling is getting smarter. It's less about the hard sell and more about building real relationships. And finally, social commerce, the ability to buy stuff right in the app, is becoming the norm, making the whole process way smoother for the customer.
So as we wrap all this up, I want to leave you with this question. In a world full of AI and automation, is the most powerful tool you have still just plain old human connection? Because when you boil it all down, after all the tech and all the trends, great B2B marketing has always been about one thing, and it always will be, building trust person to person.
Okay, let's unpack this. We're all trying to keep up with, the breakneck speed of the digital world. And when it comes to generating leads on social media, it feels less about crossing your fingers and more about having a really razor sharp strategy. Today, we've pulled together a whole stack of sources for you. Everything from cutting edge marketing research, industry reports, to really practical guides on social selling and even stuff for small business content creation.
Yeah.
Our mission, well, it's to distill the most impactful strategies, uncover maybe some hidden challenges, and equip you with insights to truly future-proof your social media lead gen in 2025 and, beyond. No more information overload, just clear, actionable intelligence.
That's right. And what's truly fascinating here is just how quickly this whole landscape has evolved. It's really no longer just about sort of shouting into the void and hoping someone hears you, right?
Right, casting a wide net.
Exactly. It's about precision. It's about building real relationships and truly understanding the buyer's journey on a much, much deeper, more granular level than before. We'll dive into how some top brands are, well, not just surviving, but actually thriving, the common pitfalls to sidestep, and what this all really means for your strategy when you're trying to connect with customers.
All right, so to kick us off then, let's start with maybe a fundamental question, because I feel like the term itself can mean different things to different people. What exactly is lead generation on social media as we look towards 2025, and why has it become so incredibly critical, right now?
Yeah, good place to start. So at its core, social media lead generation is fundamentally about identifying and then nurturing potential buyers across platforms like, LinkedIn, X, Facebook, Instagram, the usual suspects. But it's way more sophisticated now than just collecting contact details. It's really about meticulously assessing buyer intent, like are they just browsing or are they serious? And then aligning your outreach, your content, to each specific stage of that customer's journey. And this is where social selling really comes into play. It's when sales and marketing teams work together collaboratively, using these social platforms not just to broadcast messages, but to genuinely connect directly with prospects, share truly relevant content stuff that actually helps them, and build real relationships throughout the whole sales cycle. Think of it more like cultivating a garden rather than hunting.
I like that analogy, cultivating, not hunting. So here's where it gets really interesting for me, because our sources are highlighting this major shift in how people actually buy things now.
Yeah.
What's truly driving this massive move to social for lead generation? Why this particular moment?
Well, it's fundamentally driven by the modern buying journey itself. I mean, consider this. In the B2B world, something like 75% of buyers now actually prefer a rep-free experience, at least initially.
Wow, 75%.
Yeah, they want to do their own research, independently, often way before they even think about talking to a salesperson. And then on the B2C side, consumers rely really heavily on influencer recommendations, peer feedback reviews. So social platforms aren't just for brand awareness anymore. They are critical strategic touch points that actively shape perception, build trust, and directly influence the sales pipeline.
So it's about meeting them where they are, definitely, but also respecting how they want to buy now, which is often more self-directed.
Precisely. And the key reasons for this shift are pretty compelling when you list them out. First, obviously, it vastly expands your reach. Billions of active users globally, right?
Huge numbers.
Second, it allows for precision targeting, like we've never really seen before. You can zero in on specific demographics, interests, online behaviors. Third, it often optimizes your marketing budget because it's scalable and, frankly, can be more cost-effective than a lot of traditional channels. Fourth, you get these in-depth audience insights through really robust analytics, telling you what's working, what's resonating, and what's falling flat. And crucially, fifth, it lets you actively nurture leads by fostering direct engagement and building that trust over time. There's an industry insight from McKinsey that really underscores this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they found B2B companies that embrace these omni-channel strategies, where social media is a key part. See, about 13.5% EBIT growth. That's earnings before interest and taxes, a core profitability measure.
13.5%.
13.5. Compare that to just 1.8% for their peers who are less digitally enabled. It shows social media isn't just fluffy stuff. It's driving bottom-line impact.
That's a massive difference. And, if we connect this to the bigger picture, thinking historically, this isn't just some sudden phenomenon, right? Social media lead gen feels like the latest stage in this really fascinating marketing evolution.
Oh, absolutely. It didn't just appear overnight. Marketing's gone through these distinct eras, really reflecting the market conditions of the time. You had the production era, way back when demand often outstripped supply.
Right, build it and they will come.
Kind of, yeah. Then came the sales era. As competition heated up, focus shifted to more aggressive selling. That led into the marketing era, where understanding customer needs finally became paramount.
The customer is king, sort of.
Exactly. Then the relationship marketing era followed, emphasizing long-term loyalty. And now we're firmly in what you could call the social marketing era. This really zeroes in on customer engagement, building those social relationships, even direct social commerce. The ultimate takeaway from this whole historical march is pretty simple. If you're not deeply embedded in customer relationships and using these digitally empowered strategies, you're not just falling behind, you're kind of operating in the wrong era entirely.
Wow, okay. Operating in the wrong era. That puts it starkly. So with that foundation laid, the big question I think on everyone's mind is, with this constantly shifting landscape, what are the concrete moves? What should we actually be doing right now for 2025? What are the strategies that are truly working?
Excellent question. Because theory is one thing, action's another, right?
Right.
Our research points to 7 pretty highly effective lead gen strategies that are making a real difference for businesses today. First up, and you can't miss it, is short-form video.
Reels, TikToks.
Exactly. Those bite-sized, typically 30 to 60-second videos, they're perfect for teasing gated content, showing quick product use cases, maybe inviting users to an event. You see them everywhere: LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels. The key is to tease some value, direct users very clearly to a lead capture form, and crucially, grab their attention with the captions or a really strong hook in those first, 3 seconds.
Gotta hook 'em quick.
You really do. A great example is a company called Reel Paper. They use Instagram Reels and TikTok for these relatable, kind of funny stories, and then they end with a call to action like, grab a free roll, just pay shipping, specifically to build their email list. It works because it's a quick, valuable exchange.
So it's hook, story, direct path to conversion. Got it. What's next?
Okay, next up, number 2 is conversational lead generation via messaging apps. Think Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Instagram DMs. These platforms now actually support full lead flows with preset questions, calls to action.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. What works really well here are those click-to-message CTAs you see on ads. They can be paired with AI-powered chatbot flows for instant qualification. The bot can quickly ask about, say, budget, location, or urgency, and then it all feeds seamlessly into your CRM for follow-up. There's a contrast therapy spa called MindZero using an AI chatbot right in their Instagram DMs to qualify leads. It apparently removes a lot of friction, especially for potential clients who might have, awkward or exploratory questions, as they put it. Makes it feel more approachable.
That makes perfect sense. It's like having a helpful concierge available 24/7 without the awkwardness sometimes. What's number 3?
Third is paid lead generation formats. So these are the seamless lead capture forms built directly within the social platforms themselves. Think LinkedIn lead gen forms, Meta lead ads, TikTok lead ads.
Ah, so you don't leave the app.
Exactly. That's the magic. Users fill them out right there on Facebook or LinkedIn without being kicked over to an external website. And this drastically reduces drop-off rates. For instance, LinkedIn lead gen forms. They boast an average conversion rate of around 13%.
13%. Wow.
Yeah, which is over 3 times higher than the typical landing page conversion rate, which hovers around, 4% on average? These forms are a cornerstone in account-based marketing, ADM, for capturing those high-intent leads really efficiently.
That's a really significant difference in conversion. Okay, but what about reaching people through maybe more organic, emotional routes, not just the paid forms?
Yeah, absolutely. And that brings us nicely to our fourth strategy. Story-driven lead magnets. This is all about pairing those emotionally resonant stories, things people connect with a clear lead magnet, often using short-form video on platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels.
Okay.
Why does this work so well? Well, research shows something like 96% of video marketers believe video significantly increases user understanding of a product or service.
Makes sense. Seeing is believing, sometimes.
Totally. And again, Real Paper is a good example here, too. They tie these engaging, relatable stories directly to a lead magnet like that free trial to build a really values-aligned email list.
Yeah.
It's about making a connection before asking for the conversion.
Connection before conversion. I like
Yeah.
that. Okay, what's fifth?
Fifth, we look at influencer-led content with embedded CTAs. Social proof is just incredibly powerful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Partnering with the right influencers makes your message feel more relatable, more believable. We saw that stat, 49% of users trust influencer recommendations.
Almost half.
Yeah. So for B2B, this might look like micro-influencers promoting some gated content or a webinar. For B2C, it could be discount CTAs. The key things here are always disclose the partnership, be transparent, and crucially, track your ROI using UTM track landing pages. Those are those custom links that tell you exactly where your leads are coming from.
Right, got to measure it.
You have to. Grammarly, for example, they partnered with productivity influencers to drive qualified trial signups, specifically targeting startups and remote teams. Smart targeting through the right voices.
That feels like a really smart way to tap into existing trust networks. Okay, 2 more strategies left.
Yep. Number 6 is contests or challenges with lead capture. These are incentive-driven campaigns, like, maybe a user-generated content challenge. They offer dual benefits. You get high engagement, and you can capture leads.
Okay.
By embedding lead forms directly into the campaign, and maybe even pre-filling fields with data the platform already knows, you can significantly boost submission rates. Offer compelling incentives, free consultations, trials, discounts, and make sure it integrates smoothly with your CRM, your customer relationship management system, for that essential follow-up.
Makes sense. Leverage the excitement. And the last one.
And finally, strategy 7 is offer early access or demos through social selling. This strategy is about activating your internal people, your sales team, your product managers, your subject matter experts to become brand advocates on social.
Using your own team.
Exactly. They share their unique perspectives, their insights, maybe case studies, using ready-to-use content you provide. You can give them personalized UPM links to help track their direct impact on clicks and conversions. And remember, nurtured leads, the ones built through relationships, typically produce about 20% more sales opportunities down the line.
Wow.
Bamboo HR, the HR software company, they use LinkedIn lead gen forms for early access to a new feature. And by activating their own teams to promote it, they saw a remarkable 53% higher submission rate compared to just using their generic website forms. It's about putting your best, most knowledgeable people forward.
These strategies all sound incredibly powerful, and the examples really help bring them to life. But let's be real, it's not always smooth sailing, is it? What are the common barriers or challenges that organizations actually face? And maybe more importantly, how can we overcome them to really make these strategies work? Because I imagine some of our listeners are thinking, yeah, this all sounds great, but my team is tiny, or we've tried this and it didn't work.
Yeah, you've absolutely hit on a critical point. There are significant challenges, especially when you're trying to scale these things, or even just get them off the ground with limited resources. One major hurdle we see consistently is fragmented customer journeys. Interactions are spread across so many different channels, it's hard to connect the dots.
Right, they saw an ad here, clicked a link there.
Exactly. The ideal solution often involves unified view platforms, like, say, a Sprinklr, which can bring together data from 30-plus social and digital channels. But if you're a smaller team, maybe the answer is consolidating onto fewer, more impactful channels, rather than trying to be everywhere badly. Focus your efforts.
Good advice. What else?
Then there's the persistent issue of low lead quality. It's easy to get caught up in vanity metrics, likes, shares that can actually mask declining conversions or poor quality leads that never go anywhere.
Yeah, lots of clicks, no customers.
Precisely. The fix here is to implement stronger intent signals, looking for specific behaviors that indicate real interest, not just curiosity, and using robust lead scoring frameworks to differentiate between lukewarm interest and actual purchase intent.
So qualifying them better upfront.
Exactly. Attribution complexity is also a huge headache. Trying to pinpoint exactly which social touchpoint in a long, winding journey actually drove a conversion, it's incredibly difficult, almost impossible sometimes.
Yeah. The witch drop caused the ripple problem.
That's a good way to put it. More sophisticated attribution models are becoming essential here, so you can actually optimize your spending based on data, not just guesswork or, last click attribution, which is often misleading.
That's a really big one, especially when you're trying to justify budget, right?
Absolutely. We also see channel silos pretty frequently, where different teams, marketing, sales, maybe even product, might end up competing rather than collaborating. The solution here involves things like coordinated content calendars, aligned targeting strategies, just making sure everyone is pulling in the same direction so campaigns compound their impact instead of canceling each other out.
Better internal communication, basically.
Fundamentally, yes. Lack of real-time insights is another barrier. If your data is delayed, you can't optimize campaigns quickly. AI-driven insights and live performance dashboards are becoming critical to react to those high-intent signals as they happen.
Got to be agile.
You do. And of course, there's the ever-present challenge of algorithm changes. We saw Instagram's organic reach reportedly decline by like 22% in 2024. That can decimate a strategy overnight if you're too reliant on one thing.
Ouch.
Yeah. The solution is really to diversify your content formats. Don't just do posts, do videos, stories, live streams, and focus on an engagement-driven strategy that builds community rather than solely relying on organic reach that can just, poof, disappear.
Right. Don't put all your eggs in one algorithm's basket. Makes total sense.
Exactly. And related to the silos point, simple team communication and collaboration can break down, particularly in larger organizations or even remote teams. Having clear communication channels, Slack, Trello, whatever work, integrated content calendars, regular check-in meetings, these basics are key to keeping everyone aligned. For those smaller teams you mentioned, resource allocation and team structure can feel really overwhelming. This is where automation tools, like Recur Post for scheduling social media, can be a lifesaver. And strategically outsourcing specific tasks, maybe graphic design, maybe video editing, can help extend your capabilities without needing to hire full-time staff for everything.
Be smart about where you spend your time and money.
Be scrappy and smart, yeah. And finally, two more big ones right now. AI and automation integration. It can feel daunting, this wave of new technology. The advice is usually to start small. Automate routine tasks first, like scheduling or basic reporting, and make sure you effectively train your team on how to actually use these tools to their advantage.
Take baby steps with AI.
Pretty much. And similarly, short-form video production barriers. Creating compelling, brand-consistent video quickly can be tough. The solution here often involves using mobile-friendly equipment. Your phone is probably good enough. Using content templates, repurposing longer content into shorter clips, and focusing on authentic, maybe behind-the-scenes videos that don't require huge production budgets.
Okay, so lots of challenges, but also practical ways around them. This raises an important question, though. Who's actually doing this well? Can we look at some specific brands that are getting it right, navigating these challenges effectively, whether they're big or small?
Yeah, definitely. Several brands really stand out in how they're driving lead generation through social, and they illustrate some of these principles well.
Great.
Take Alida, for example. They're a customer intelligence platform. They used a combination of LinkedIn-sponsored content and those lead gen forms we talked about, but specifically with an account-based marketing strategy, really focusing their efforts on specific high-value accounts they wanted to win.
Okay, hyper-targeted.
Exactly. The outcome. They achieved a remarkable 5x increase in sales leads and a 122% boost in conversions, significantly beating industry benchmarks by being focused.
Wow, 5x leads.
Okay. Then you've got Maserati in the luxury car space. They cleverly took their existing high-production TV ads and reformatted them specifically for Instagram and Facebook Reels, making them high-impact, vertical, mobile-optimized video.
Adapting the content to the platform.
Precisely. And the result was a 25% increase in lead volume and, importantly, a 20% reduction in their cost per lead. It shows the power of tailoring content for how people actually consume it on social today.
Smart adaptation. Who else?
Honda is another interesting case. They worked to unify their customer care across both digital and voice channels. They used social listening tools to understand customer conversations and pain points, and fed that into their Honda online car sales platform.
Listening first.
Listening first. By leveraging that customer engagement data, they were better able to meet the needs of tech-savvy millennials and Gen Z buyers, which streamlined their operations and boosted engagement.
Okay, and maybe one more.
Yeah, a different kind of example is Everlane, the fashion brand known for ethical practices. They essentially built their entire brand around this idea of radical transparency, sharing really granular details about their factories, their costs, their sourcing.
So that.
Their emphasis on sustainability and ethics really resonated deeply with consumers who were actively seeking out ethical options. It became a powerful lead magnet in itself, showing how strong values, communicated consistently on social, can drive significant growth.
Fascinating. So, okay, we've seen brand strategies, we've seen challenges, we've seen successes. What does this all mean then for the individual salesperson, the person on the ground trying to leverage social media for their own lead generation? Beyond the big brand campaigns, what are their specific best practices?
That's a great pivot because social selling for an individual is a bit different. It's much more about building genuine one-to-one relationships, not just broadcasting. The sales strategy blog we looked at highlights some key best practices for them. First, and this sounds basic, but it's critical, complete your profile meticulously.
Your LinkedIn profile, mainly.
Yeah, primarily LinkedIn for B2B, but relevant across platforms. Professional photo, a brief, compelling bio that clearly states the value you offer, not just your job title. It's often your very first point of contact, your digital first impression.
Right, makes sense.
Second, join and actively participate in relevant LinkedIn groups or other online communities. Don't just join, actually engage. Share genuinely educational content, offer your thought leadership, answer questions thoughtfully. Don't just lurk, or worse, just dump links to your product. Add value.
Be a contributor, not just a taker.
Exactly. Third, and this is maybe the most important mindset shift, don't pitch up front. Please, don't connect and immediately pitch. Social selling is about building rapport and trust first. Save the product pitch for after you've actually had a conversation, understood their needs through a proper needs analysis.
Build a relationship before asking for the sale.
Absolutely. And finally, get the details. Use tools, if appropriate and ethical, to connect social profiles with other contact information like email or phone. This helps you enhance the connection and maybe continue the conversation on a more appropriate channel when the time is right. It's really about becoming a trusted resource first and a salesperson second.
Trusted resource first. I like that framing. Okay, so if we connect all these threads together, the evolution, the strategies, the challenges, the individual role, it really seems like the future of social media lead generation isn't just about chasing every shiny new platform that pops up, right? It feels like it's about a much more intentional, integrated approach if you really want to future-proof your strategy.
Precisely. That's the key takeaway, I think. Future-proofing your strategy really demands a unified, data-centric approach. You need to be constantly testing new formats, video, audio, interactive stuff, measure absolutely everything that matters, and actively work to move away from those siloed one-off campaigns towards thinking about unified customer journeys across all touch points. The investment really needs to be in the platforms, yes, but also the processes that can integrate your data, your content creation, and your execution seamlessly. And when it comes to measuring performance, it's absolutely crucial to develop clear, key performance indicators, KPIs, that go beyond those vanity metrics.
Right, what should we actually measure then?
Well, things like your actual conversion rate from a social media lead to a qualified opportunity, or even better, to a closed sale. Tracking how prospects move through your sales pipeline after originating from social. Measuring the richness and quality of the customer information you obtain. Looking at genuine product mentions or sentiment. Tracking the usage of custom hashtags for campaigns, and ultimately, of course, tracking signups, subscriptions, demo requests, whatever your key conversion event is.
The stuff that actually impacts the business. And what tools help us track all that effectively?
There's a range. Tools like Google Analytics are fundamental for website tracking. Then you have dedicated social media analytics platforms, things like Salesforce Social Studio or Hootsuite or Sprout Social that offer deeper insights. And for salespeople, tools like LinkedIn Sales Navigator can be invaluable for tracking engagement, finding prospects, and quantifying some of that social selling impact with things like their social selling index score, tracking new connections, profile views, etc. Our sources also make some broader recommendations. Think about strategically reallocating some marketing budget from traditional media to social, if the data supports it. Actively work in creating and nurturing online brand communities. Develop those specific social media performance metrics we just talked about. And, depending on your scale, maybe consider employing dedicated social media experts or strategically outsourcing certain activities to really maximize your results. It's about being deliberate, data-driven, and really adaptable.
Well, this deep dive today really shows that social media lead generation isn't just some fleeting trend, is it? It's a dynamic, constantly evolving ecosystem that really demands continuous learning and adaptation from all of us. So maybe as you, our listener, look at your own strategies, consider this. In a world just saturated with content everywhere, how can your social presence move beyond merely being visible online to genuinely being valuable, turning that fleeting attention into lasting relationships and ultimately into real, measurable business growth?
Exactly. I think the shift is truly profound. It's really about recognizing that every single interaction on social media, however small it seems, is an opportunity to build trust, to demonstrate your expertise, to be helpful, and subtly guide a prospect along that pathway towards becoming a customer and maybe even an advocate. The fundamental question isn't whether you should be on social media anymore. I think that ship has sailed, but rather how thoughtfully, how strategically, and how authentically you're leveraging its immense power to transform prospects into loyal advocates for your brand. That's the real challenge, but it's also the huge opportunity ahead.